Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic, and maybe you can also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always opined on this platform severally that in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. A few days ago, Karim Khan arrived into the country. Karim Khan currently is the chief prosecutor at ICC. And his arrival was met with the resistance from Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance. Babu Owino was very clear in his message to Karim Khan.
Opportunity to address Karim Khan, the International Criminal Court, ICC prosecutor's visit to Kenya. I know your visit amounts to investigating into crimes against humanity. As you are aware, that our people were killed, they were butchered, they were tortured, murdered in large numbers. And I want to advise you that Karim Khan, you are not the best person to investigate into this matter because of conflict of interest. Conflict of interest amounts when a person's personal interest may not act in the best interest of another person, or rather a person's personal interest may hinder or predetermine his judgment. And predetermination is a type of a conflict of interest. Why am I saying so? Because some time back, when President Ruto was at ICC, you represented him. Therefore, what do we expect as Kenyans if you're the person who is going to investigate into crimes against humanity, the murders, the torture that has occurred in Kenya? This amounts to professional misconduct. I would now take this opportunity to advise you to appoint other prosecutors to come to Kenya to investigate these matters. And you don't have to go far. We've already provided you with sufficient evidence, and we've told you those who murdered our people, those who tortured our people. As you leave Kenya, if you are serious with this matter, as you leave Kenya, there is KQ, Kenya Airways. Make sure you don't leave the challenges facing Kenyans in Kenya. Carry them with you. Carry Koome with you. Carry Rigathi Gachagua with you. Carry Ruto with you. Those are the problems facing Kenyans. Make sure you go with them back to ICC. Otherwise, coming here as a PR exercise will never be tolerated. Thank you.
And several Azimio leaders actually challenged Karim Khan to tell the country why he was in the country. The visit was actually masked as a charity visit for some school somewhere, I think in Kajiado, which is sponsoring. But later it emerged that Karim Khan actually sneaked to State House and held a 2-hour meeting with William Samoei Arap Ruto. And because of the pressure from Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance, Karim Khan finally decided to pull out of Kenyan case. He recast himself from the Kenyan case. But that's not the main thing. What is important is that Karim Khan came into the country, and by the time he was coming into the country, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance had actually submitted their evidence to ICC. And then it's now emerging that William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, actually signed protocol of the Constitutive Act of the African Union, popularly called the Malabo Protocol. This protocol grants Ruto impunity against any potential international crime committed while he's a sitting president. The truth of the matter is that this act was signed by Ruto in July 2028, actually on 24th. Uhuru Kenyatta refused to sign this act because it was implemented. Countries which were supposed to sign it were supposed to sign it from 2014. Uhuru Kenyatta refused. Again, it means that ICC cannot press any charges against William Samoei Arap Ruto until he undergoes the African Union procedure. For me, if you ask me, this act is meant to protect African dictators. So in this video, I want us to figure out why William Ruto actually signed this act. Because for me, William Ruto has done it out of fear. According to what I've read, this act is supposed to be effective from October. But for William Ruto, he has backdated it to be effective from September, which means he's trying to avoid any situation where ICC were actually going to react or respond to Raila Odinga's or Azimio's letter. And what do you think William Ruto actually discussed with Karim Khan? If you ask me, the evidence which were placed before Karim Khan at ICC were actually overwhelming. And being a friend of William Ruto, I tend to think that the gentleman came here to advise William Samoei Arap Ruto before things went south. So I want us to look all those. But before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. But before I do that, allow me also to thank the following people who sent me their coffee. You can also do the same using the numbers on your screen now. Ladies and gentlemen, Josephat Kome has been away for some time. But today he came with some more to sana, which begs the question, where has he been? And where is he getting now the courage? Probably because of this act, Immunity Act, which William Ruto signed. At least even if you support this government, because it's your constitutional right, there are certain things you cannot allow the government just to do to your brother, to your sister. Disowning your brothers and sisters is not good. But let me get out of that. Why do you think William Ruto signed this Immunity Act? If you ask me, the first question should be about the timing. William Ruto became the president of the Republic of Kenya in August last year. He had to wait for demonstrations to begin. William Ruto had to wait for Azimio to collect evidence against police brutality. He had to wait for Azimio to submit their evidence to ICC. William Ruto had to gauge the mood on police brutality. So for me, the timing of William Ruto signing this document is what caught my attention. 24th of July, I think that was the time when the talks, or it was actually the peak of the mandamanos. So why do you think he's implementing this thing at this particular time? For me, it has to do everything with Azimio evidence. And the biggest question for me, which is my next question, what is the objective of this act? This act is supposed to provide immunity to William Ruto and any other future president, so that as long as they are the president of the Republic of Kenya, then nobody can take them to ICC. The act is even silent after resigning. It says that after after leaving office, it says that after leaving office, what's supposed to happen is that they're supposed to go through some African Union procedures. And there they'll meet Kagame, they'll meet this longest serving president, who is his name? They'll also meet Museveni there. So the objective of this act for me is to breed dictatorship. And I'm looking at William Ruto, and I can predict that William Ruto is too young to retire. William Ruto will go nowhere. William Ruto is likely to engineer constitutional change to extend his term in office, or will attempt to impose his candidate. And for him to do that, it means he will have to use force, brute force. And by using brute force, it means people will be, they will go against crime. I mean, it will be actually crime against humanity. And because of this act, you will take him nowhere. So for me, if you ask me, William Ruto is preparing something serious against Kenyans. What we witnessed during Azimio Maandamanos, where there was a kind of, I don't know how to term it, whether to call it massacre of in Nyalenda here, or tribal cleansing in Nyalenda here. I don't know how to term it, but that was just a test run. The other question is, why is this act applying to senior officers? So it will mean that any senior officer in William Ruto's government who is acting outside the law will be protected until they leave office. So probably that explains why Josephat Koome came out boldly today. The intention, because ICC actually scared senior officers, that's why I asked you, where is Koome? When Azimio presented their evidence to Azimio, they chickened out. I've seen a document by Audi Ogada, a human rights activist in Kisumu here, where he has actually documented, I think it is a 51 page of the victims of police brutality. If I share with you that document, I know you'll cry. Yeah, but the intention is to embolden the senior officers so that they can actually go ahead and implement. Some of them were scared by ICC. Now you tell them that this act will exempt them. You know, you tell Koome, you give him powers, he will overrun people. And lastly, the last question which is worrying Azimio, will William Ruto agree to hand over power? If you commit crimes against humanity in your government, there are officers who help you do that. A new government comes into office and begins to deal with them, and probably decides to remove Kenya from this kind of protocol while we are alive. Do you think William Ruto will be able to hand over power? I'm just asking, just like an ordinary Kenyan. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.